Super excited about our next guest, Amy and Jeremy of now is it AJ or is it A&J?
AJ.
AJ Bodywork. So this, I'm not even kidding. I wish I were acting. I'm not that good of an actor. That's why I'm still doing this job. But when you guys told me about what you do, it blew my mind right away. This might be the alternative that people are looking for when it comes to pain management. But tell me about this massage, because you know when people hear that massage, oh, I don't want to take my clothes off, I want to have to get oiled down. This one, though, you do with your clothes on.
Absolutely.
And show me how it works.
So this is craniosacral therapy is what we're talking about today.
Okay.
It was invented in 1975, and there's over 100,000 practitioners worldwide.
But it's new to us here in Utah.
It's not new to us, but it's a really cool thing. So your cranial bone in your head and your
Jeremy, you're going to be our model.
in the back.
You have to turn around. Yeah, he's going to be the model. Okay, show us.
Brother and sister bones. Here's our cranium.
Okay.
Here is our sacrum.
Okay.
And it's
the spine comes in,
the spine comes straight through those.
Okay.
And basically is what it is that you're using the nervous system in the spine and in the cranium, and you're relaxing it, taking it from a sympathetic nervous system with fight or flight to a parasympathetic rest and digest where healing occurs. And so it is a pain alternative that you can use for headaches, for fibromyalgia, for neck pain, back pain. It's been known to...
My wife was talking before we started the interview that it's the first thing that's different is you have your clothes on.
Yes.
The other thing that's different is you're not really grinding down. Explain that.
So a lot of massages that you think of are kind of, you get in there and really work on the body, maybe use elbows, knuckles, fists, those kinds of things, right?
You're really applying pressure.
Right. So we're trying not to be a bully on the body. We're trying to encourage the body to find its own healing. So we're encouraging the body to find its healing and to use its own innate abilities to heal. And we're just trying to help the body find that place where it can heal, where it goes into that rest and relax, and it starts to rebuild and regenerate, and those different parts that may be stuck, that you have maybe tension in your diaphragm, it helps to relieve that tension, which then helps relieve everything else in your body.
Amy, there's got to be numerous stories about some people who have got some relief, otherwise they didn't before until they met you guys.
You know what? It's really incredible because it's like we get to be miracle workers. Although we're not healers, we call ourselves facilitators. I have my best friend, her husband had a brain tumor, and he had issues with cognitive, memory, and speech. And after a 50-minute session, his speech came back. The day before, he had his brain surgery to have the tumor removed. When radiation happened, he went down again. We were able to recover it, bring back his speech. Third time he came into us, it was his fifth and final radiation where he had to go in an MRI afterwards. My best friend called me, she says he can't even walk. He was limping in, he was crying, he couldn't do all of these things. We spent the 50 minutes doing this protocol with the craniosacral therapy, and again, he stood up, stretched, could speak clearly, and hasn't had any issues ever since.
Now, I click on the place. Here's to happy, healthy healing.
This presentation is sponsored by Cranial Release Technique.
The World Summit of Integrative Medicine 2015 presents Dr. William Doresti. William C. Doresti, DC, is CEO of Cranial Release Technique, Inc., a national training institute that he founded in 2005. The institute is dedicated to the advancement of the cranial release technique as a vital tool for healthcare practitioners worldwide in promoting wellness and reducing stress in patients and clients.
Welcome to this presentation on the cranial release technique. My name is Dr. William Doresti. I'm the CEO and the founder of the cranial release technique, which we'll probably call CRT, for the concept of the primary respiratory mechanism, this involuntary pumping mechanism of the cranium that all of us have from the time we're born until the time we leave this planet. It was Dr. Sutherland that said it's the system that comes first. It underlies all of life's processes and gives dynamism, form, and substance to all of anatomy and physiology. It's the spark that gives rise to the breath as it moves through the tissues. It's the foundation of metabolism, and it has both an inhalation and exhalation phase. Dr. Sutherland was absolutely convinced that the key to unlocking human physiology was through the head, and I have found that to be as well. If we look at Michael's shoulders, what you'll see is his right shoulder is elevated. Michael, if you could just put your hands out to the side. His right hip is also elevated. And what I want you to understand here is that from this cranial distortion that Michael is presenting with, you can put the hands down now, Mike, that's then leading to an osseous craniosacral distortion. And we're going to change everything by addressing the cranium. Well, as we just saw with Michael, here's a real skull, and again, everywhere you look at this skull is distortion. You can see here, one eye is lower, the ears are distorted, the external auditory meatuses are distorted. There's distortion everywhere in the cranium. There's distortion at the condyles as well. And if you look inside the cranium, and as my slide shows from Gray's Anatomy, obviously we're protecting the central nervous system, and every one of these little foramen, if you remember back from school, all the cranial nerves pass through, the spinal cord passes through. This is essentially what makes you, you, and me, me. And again, because of this osseous distortion, that's going to negatively impact the physiological function of the central nervous system. And so moving on, if you remember back from school, and as my slide demonstrates again from Gray's Anatomy, the dura mater, the toughest tissue in the body, stronger than bone, white, inelastic, fibrous tissue. But what I never learned in chiropractic school is that the dura blends in and becomes the periosteum of all 22 of the cranial bones. As if the wallpaper on the wall is the dura. And so as this cranium shifts and rocks and distorts, that dura then tightens. And the best analysis I can give you, and what I use with my patients quite often, is a towel. So imagine that this is your dura, beginning in the cranium, ending in the coccyx, and that dura, of course, is covering the central nervous system. And as that cranium shifts, rocks, and distorts from traumas and stresses, things that we'll cover in a little bit, that dura now tightens down, and this person is now going through life with dural tension. And there's no way that your body will function optimally when you have dural tension. Remember, the dura is covering the brain and the spinal cord. So if someone were to say to me, what's the purpose of cranial release? Well, the purpose of cranial release is really to relax the dural tension to optimize physiological function in the body.
Emotional trauma is the beginning of disease and goes back to very early childhood memories. Can we correct that? Yes, we can correct that.
You know, when people know there are tingles and numbness on their body, or they're ringing in the ears, or their, or their thyroid problem is caused by a certain pathogen, the truth comes out. and they realize it's not their body destroying itself. You wouldn't believe the ability they can get for healing, like what can fire up for them to move forward. Because they're like, okay, you know what? It's not me I'm battling. Realize that your body's working with you side by side. It's not letting you down. Body loves you. It loves you unconditionally, and it's not letting you down. Have patience. Have compassion, take one day at a time. You're gonna get there. Doesn't matter how long you've been sick, you can heal. And always remember that and never forget it.
Say, well, I don't have faith. But actually, everyone has faith of some kind. You either have faith in possibility, or you have faith that that possibility doesn't exist. And in a way, we have more faith in the power of cancer to kill us than we have faith in the power of God, the power of miracles, the power of infinite possibility, the power of any force other than what our eyes can see and our hands can touch to actually interrupt the power and the trajectory of disease. So this is just one of the many ways in which, as we change our thinking, we have such capacity to do nothing less than actually boost our immune systems. The idea of faith, the idea that there is no external power that we're talking about here, that there is an internal power that can do for us what we cannot do for ourselves, is a paradigm shift, as they say, that applies to something much more than just healing the body. It has to do with healing our lives.
生命降生时啊，一位随身医生就在我们身体里安家落户了。体内的每一处器官、每一种分泌物啊，都是他信手拈来的好药材，自动的进行康复治疗。生活中啊，小毛病往往是不需要吃药就能好，疑难杂症啊，自然痊愈的例子啊也是很多的。这就是身体里的神医啊，在自行诊断、开方配药，为我们的祛病保健康。这个自愈力呢是与生俱来的，时刻呀发挥着重要的作用。平常生活中啊，比如说感冒了，即使不吃药，扛几天呢就会自然的康复。身上被划伤、撞伤，即使不用药啊，几个月后也会自然痊愈。甚至呢，有一些癌症患者呀，也能奇迹般的自我痊愈。这些呀都是人体自愈力作用的表现。人体呢，借助自身的自愈力，即使偶尔有饮食不当、睡眠不足、环境改变、血液污染、负面情绪等等的影响啊，也是可以保持一种良好的状态而不生病的。这也是现代医学追求的治胃病的理想手段，是未来健康领域追求的最高目标。
人体是一个组织严密、分工明确的智能工厂，昼夜不停地产生各种细胞，而每一个细胞的核内都有一套完整的基因。这些拥有健康基因的细胞作为预备军存在，一旦发现身体局部出现病变，就会在大脑及经络系统的指挥下，变成战胜疾病的勇士，快速铲除病灶细胞，取而代之。用这样的体内自我配置的药方来治病，即为人体自愈疗法。大脑的养分是否充足，脑细胞是否活跃，经络是否通畅，决定自我诊断、自我修复能力的大小。打个比方，人体好比倒过来的大树，而树根就是起决定性的大脑。树木的荣枯取决于树根，当树木出现萎黄、干枯、生长不良时，通过适当的措施激活树根，树木就会立刻自愈，焕发勃勃生机。而人体也可以通过激活大脑，恢复身体自愈力，来防治各种疾病。
在人体自愈力被发现之前，人们往往是通过药物来治疗疾病。随着生活水平的不断提高，环境污染的加剧和不良生活习惯的冲击，各种可怕的疾病也随之袭来。脑梗塞、脑中风、冠心病、心肌梗塞、哮喘、糖尿病，甚至是癌症，发病率越来越高，让人防不胜防。那么传统药物疗法又存在哪些弊端呢？它又给患者带来怎样的不幸呢？
许多人在发病时，首先想到的就是去吃药。当这些药物进入人体发挥药效的时候，人体自愈力就受到了排斥和破坏，出 处于持续减弱或低迷状态，久而久之，许多患者根本无法感觉到自愈力的存在，而对药物产生依赖性。长期服药产生的毒副作用不仅严重损伤了患者的肝肾功能，也大大削弱了人体的自我修复功能，雪藏了自愈力。这样，患者失去了一道与生俱来的防御屏障，只能接受药物治疗，后患无穷。据不完全统计，仅我国每年因为药毒致死致残的人数超过30万，每年因购药使家庭陷入贫困的患者人数高达90万。一双双绝望的眼神，一张张痛苦而扭曲的脸，向我们诉说着病魔带来的悲苦与痛楚。少吃药不吃药，依赖人体自愈力来治愈各种疾病，成为当今世界医学最炙手可热的研究方向。
It's been discovered in the laboratory that intention does have physical effects.
Placebo effect is the fact that a belief that a person has can override their biology. At least 1/3 of all healings has to do with the placebo effect.
Sending an intention that I am better is sending information to the body to correct itself.
When we think positive thoughts, we release certain chemicals into our body. When we think negative thoughts, we release negative chemicals into our body.
We know that our brain is changeable. We know that our bodies are changeable just by thought alone.
Happened is that we are practicing medicine that's a century out of date, basically. While things have moved forward in Silicon Valley and things have moved forward with iPhones, and look at what you can do today that you couldn't do even 10 or 15 years ago, medicine is still being practiced an old-fashioned way where we look for a specific diagnosis.
These stresses are 24/7, 365. The net result is illness and disease.
Your immune system is compromised chronically.
What we see here is belief itself shifts biology.
That intelligence giving us life. It is the greatest healer in the world.
These symptoms are brilliantly intelligent in waking us up.
抬头，幸福不见了，找失去的拥抱。温柔的眼眸，想多看一秒，拭干眼泪，看清楚，原来爱没走掉。
Fix your brain, you're going to have to accept a radically new way of thinking about health, one that most doctors today still struggle to understand. It's the idea that everything is connected. This means everything we do, everything we eat and think, how we sleep and live can actually change our brain at any given moment. It can impact your brain through your diet and heal your body. In fact, your body and your mind are not two separate systems. They're one elegant, continuous ecosystem. What you do to the body affects the brain, and what you do to the brain affects the body.
There's a part of your body that you might have never heard of, yet is one of the most critical anatomical structures. It's called fascia. It's essentially the connective tissue between all your muscles, bones and organs. It's everywhere, yet historically has been poorly understood. In recent years, however, there's been a huge interest in this peculiar connective tissue and the key role it plays in everything from healthy day-to-day living to Olympic-level sports. you're about to go on a fascinating journey, investigating the role that fascia plays in the human body. Emerging from this story is the idea that we Homo sapiens may be the most domesticated species on the planet, and that perhaps a lot of our problems stem from this unnatural lifestyle.
Rather than thinking of individual muscles that are each separate in your body, the latest research teaches us that more important to our health is fascia. To illustrate this, think of a pair of pajamas with feet and a hood. These feety pajamas as fascia is just an outside look. In reality, fascia is the connective tissue around everything, every organ, every tendon, every ligament, every muscle cell. It's like a spider's web inside your body that connects everything to everything. So let's think about having an injury or if muscles are chronically tight. Imagine what happens to our fascia if our shoulders are super tight. See how the neck, the arm, and even the chest are affected? What if you had surgery in your belly? Some people develop scar tissue that can affect the pelvis, the digestive system, even the rib cage. Over time, the effects of having scar tissue like this can change your posture, cause bladder problems, even shoulder problems. And now let's think about breast cancer surgery. First, there's a shock of diagnosis. That can cause some tightening around the shoulder, then the biopsy, surgery, radiation. The entire shoulder area and chest can become affected and constricted. And there's a natural inclination to protect that area. Some people develop scar tissue more than others, so this can further contribute to the tightness. Scar tissue can grow over time, creating a sort of beaver dam, which makes it hard for lymph to move through this, thus increasing your risk of lymphedema. It is crucial to get the range of motion back in your shoulder, normalize the fascia in that area.
But here's end of the first month after conception, you've got an image here showing you how the neural tube and the developing egg goes into this big flexion movement here. So it's called enfoldment. And suddenly you've got an embryo shape, haven't you? Now what we believe is this was the beginning of primary respiration. That thing that's going like that Johns Hopkins University ran over the embryonic and fetal periods of life. So just check this out. Cool. So on it goes, it's on a loop, but what we're seeing there is how the embryo grows right up to birth. And it's an underlying rhythm that everything's built on top of.
要在開始可改掉舊名字，如求脫去混亂細節，可剪斷壞發絲，由身體已受的傷，是心會變成紙，找到方向，新生命是挑戰。住昨天，以往的以後誰在意？如曾有錯未成大錯，要改到總算是容易。我 最親愛的，這一生寶貴是時間，你要歸來總不太晚。而明天不記住昨天，以往的以後誰在意？如曾有錯未成大錯，要改到總算是容易。我最親愛的，這一生寶貴是時間，你要歸來總不太晚。我最親愛的，這一生寶貴是時間，你要歸來總不太晚。
One of the hardest questions when you think about the evolution of the human species from the standard framework of evolution, which really is about individual survival, competing, getting your genes to the next generation. One of the hardest questions within that framework is, why are people so frequently and routinely good and generous and sacrificing, right? And you know, most people think that Darwin had this idea of survival of the fittest, that really it's the most ruthless and bloodthirsty who really thrive and survive. That is not Darwin's view of human evolution at all. He really felt that sympathy is the strongest instinct that humans have. Communities that have the most sympathetic members will flourish and raise the greatest number of offspring. That notion of Darwin's led to this sense that out of the vulnerability of our offspring emerged, first of all, social structures like cooperative caregiving, and then also physiological systems shaped by evolution to help us take care of the carriers of our genes, our offspring. We have learned from neuroscience down at UCLA that if you feel physical pain, a part of your brain lights up, and if I see you have that physical pain, the same part of my brain lights up. It's as if we're wired to have the same experience of other people. Empathy is this really complicated task because empathy requires that you think there's someone else out there who has feelings and thoughts that may be different from mine. That's a really complicated cognitive achievement. In my lab, the Berkeley Social Interaction Lab, we showed images of prototypical suffering to our participants. They trigger massively powerful reactions of compassion, and what we found in the brain tells us compassion is really old in the nervous system, as Darwin speculated. Yeah, you know, 60% of what we do is really about maximizing an individual's personal gratification and desire, just a classic survival of the most competitive. But 40% of the time, we're really doing things for other people, and we sacrifice and we risk exploitation and we still do it. And not only that, but it actually becomes personally fulfilling and inspiring to engage in that work. We find these secondary delights in acting on behalf of others. And I think that it really requires that we have to redefine human self-interest. You know, the great ethical traditions have always been encouraging this, and now we're seeing the science say, yeah, the brain really cares about other people.
我们都曾有过风雨过后的沉重，形同陌路的口，但心却还流通。当我们一起走过这些伤痛的时候，抱着碎裂的心，继续下一个梦，也知道我们并不会退缩。 狂奔的念头不曾停止温柔，一直到将来我们都成熟，就不再困惑生命有多少过错。我在旷野漂流，漂流的尽头就是你爱的宽容，你眼底的温柔也为我保留新的寄托。我们都曾有过风雨过后的沉重，形同陌路的口，但心却还流通。这些伤痛的时候，抱着碎裂的心，继续下一个梦，一直到将来我们都成熟，就不再困惑生命有多少过错。
在你的翅膀下，就在那裏你用磁聲對我說話。白日太陽必不傷我，夜裏月亮也不害我。此刻只有耶穌作我的保障，藏我在你的翅膀下，就在那裏你用磁聲對我說話。 日太陽必不傷我，夜裏月亮也不害我。此刻只有耶穌作我的保障，再一次呈現我心於主你面前，唯獨你能軟化此心，使我歡愉。在世間再沒有別人可以奪去我的是誰，我的一切全屬主你，我的一切也都歸你。耶穌，耶穌，作我避難所，你吩咐你的使者保護我，用你的雙手托着我。耶穌，你必親眼觀看，親如應允我每個祈求，每個禱告。耶穌，我只要你，耶穌。再一次呈現我心於主你面前，唯獨你能軟化此心，使我歡愉。在世間再沒有別人可以奪去我的是誰，我的一切全屬主你，我的一切也都歸你。耶穌，耶穌，作我避難所，你吩咐你的使者保護我，用你的雙手來托着我。耶穌，你必親眼觀看，親如應允我每個祈求，每個禱告。耶穌，我只要你，耶穌，耶穌，作我避難所，你吩咐你的使者保護我，用你的雙手托着我。耶穌，你必親眼觀看，親如應允我每個祈求，每個禱告。耶穌，我只要你，耶穌。
呢個係個跟嗰個開合。如果肢體要活動㗎，即係話咁樣係開，咁樣係。主喜悅的事我都要去做，凡事從心裡為主做。主不喜悅的我不看不說，不想不聽也不做。理上面活動嘅方向，我哋可以細分到嘅。我哋雙手就係我哋嘅 healing hand，就係我哋嘅儀器。我的眼、我的口、我的腳和我的手，都要為耶穌而活。我的心、我的靈、我的智慧和能力，都要為耶穌而活。主不喜悅的我不看不說，不想不聽也不做。我們要依靠主 ，OK？ 嗱，讓我左手右手一個慢動作，右手左手一個慢動作重複。主耶穌這樣愛你，你讓
聲波補上一切，千能加力促上真理腰帶，求主在我心坐着為王 ，Amen。平安的孩，天天穿上，處處留下福音種子，謙卑斗篷，公義生嘅，彰顯民主愛大能，信德盾牌，聖靈寶劍，抵擋一切明槍暗箭，頭戴上救恩頭盔，賜我智慧，保我一切意念心思 ，Amen。來讓我左手右手一個慢動作，右手左手慢動作重播。主耶穌，這樣愛你，你有沒有倚靠主？祝福你，福杯滿溢，一家人快樂合一。我們愛，因為神先愛。主耶穌，這樣無條件愛你，我們一起齊來依靠主。Amen。讓我左手右手一個慢動作，右手左手慢動作重播。主耶穌，這樣愛你，你有沒有依靠主？主耶穌，這樣深愛你，我們一起齊來依靠主，我們一起快跑跟隨你。主耶穌，阿門，阿門，阿門啊，阿門，阿門，係啦，叻仔，大家俾叻仔 ，Good boy， 耶！
人生繼續璀璨光華，再度重燃火花。誰人在你困惑時，也於身旁，孤單不再害怕。人生繼續璀璨光華。不再害怕。Thank you， 多謝晒，拜拜。
放得低，誰在意原因？尋歷挫敗，傷感已不需慰問，讓我的將來感激今天的障礙，跌下又再
走，不斷努力尋找依靠。你怒吼，呢個地方實在太過嘈吵 ，so nervous， 太逼，太多嘢被壓抑。你有放棄嘅態度，又起飛，一朝一夕向前行，唔好回頭。時間從未停留，光陰不斷流，走到最後，你發現冇人願意為愛留守，再冇人會為你作出最後挽留。
已經受夠，已經覺得無法忍受，來日就好似一個永遠止唔到血嘅傷口，想放棄可以揾到太多藉口，想挽留就只需要一個理由，生命由自己編寫，就算命運偏歪，緊握拳頭到最後唔需要別人施捨，條路越行越斜，就算攀山越野，只要到達頂峰你會發現新嘅視野。曾幾何時我充滿理想鬥志，曾幾何時我感到落魄失意，曾幾何時我覺得自己好似一個被遺棄嘅孤兒，事與願違，好多事都唔受控制，付出所有心血都可以一白費，係諗得太過美麗，係現實太過實際，為生計係咪人生嘅真諦？
放得低，誰在意原因？曾歷挫敗傷感，已不需慰問，讓我的將來感激今天的障礙，跌下又再企起。
This is one life that we have, this is one time that we live. The moment comes when we feeling it. Oh, this is our life that we know. This is our shine that we show. There will come a time when we feel winning. Keep up the vibes, let the records keep spinning. Let's make the best of what we have. Don't judge it good or bad, the evolution of one. From the streets to a cozy pad, from the rhymes in my head to dropping them on a track. I'm chilling on big stacks, I'm killing on the music. I made it for my fam so we all could be. Lifestyle so sad, my inner child so blessed. So flow with the blue skies, keeping the dreams high.
挫折中能磨練我藐視傷痕，懷着赤誠開闢你的身。